Code Afric. Unlock the future.
Hello world, welcome to Code Afric. Joseph is here. It's another exciting moment that we have been waiting for. We are going to build our fully responsive functional website using the modern technologies. Okay, so if you are watching this video for the first time and you have not had an encounter with our previous lessons, I will urge you to go back and do diligence to that and come back and let's continue on. Now we are going to build our fully responsive modern website using modern technologies. All right. So without much ado, let's dive in and see what we're going to be building. All right, guys, here's the website that we're going to be building. It has a landing page like this, and it also has a header. Okay, so inside the header we have our menus. So inside the menu we have our home, our service, our work, team, about art, blog, career, and our location. Now it also has an water holding effect. Okay, so when I click on any of the home pages here, you can see that it has some watering effect here. Okay, we are going to build that one also. We are going to do it together, and it also have an icon that's contain Apple, Android, and Windows. Okay, and we also have something like a text animation here that says what I love coding and to share. Okay, and we have a button here that says contact us and also learn today, and also we have some social media handlers here. Okay, all right, now when we scroll down, okay, wow, we can see that we have our service. You can see how it is animating nicely. Okay, and everything has been perfectly aligned. Awesome. When you scroll down, also we have another portion for gallery where you can put some images of your company or whatsoever that can build a website for. And here is the team. Okay, here is the team or our members. Okay, so we can see with the team or with the members, we can see that myself is here, Dr. Joseph Asante, that's myself. I'm here. And we also have say Akufu. Okay, say Akufu Joe is here. Okay, all right. And also John Wiener also is here. Okay, it contains a carousel. Okay, which you can call a slider. So we can slide to the next section of the team that we have the female also there. All right. To this page we have a testimonial. Okay, of our client that have been working for, their testimony that they are giving, that is the reviewed. Okay, and it also contains a carousel. All right, you can see that it contains a carousel. We are going to build all this from scratch. All right, now we have a general frequent asked questions, and we can see that there's an animation here also. And when you click on it, it opens, and this also spin. Okay, this spin. All right, it spin nicely. Now you can put the frequent asked questions here and answer them yourself. All right, so we have this one also. And when you scroll down, we have a portion that we have embedded the videos that when you click on it, it will redirect you to our YouTube channel for you to know more about us or even watch our lessons on YouTube for free. All right, now when you scroll down, also we have the recent blogs where we can put any recent blogs that you want to showcase to your visitors that will visit your site. You can bring them here also for them to have an access. Okay, you can see that we have a nice counting app implementations that was embedded using jQuery, and we are going to do all that also ourselves. All right, when we scroll down, also it has a form that we can fill and send us message. We receive the message in our inbox and we will get back to you. Okay, and here also we have our location. Okay, this is our postal address, and our email address also is here, and also it also contain our contact information. Okay, so through this Google map, through this map, you can also locate us from anywhere of this world. All right, when you scroll down, also we have our social media handlers here that when you click on it, okay, to take you to all the social media handlers that we are on, and it has been animated nicely. It spins. Okay, it spins. All right, now when we look at it from here, also all this menu, okay, the navigations also, they are working perfectly. The hover is working. For instance, we are on the home page, but I can navigate myself to the location, our location. When I click on it, it will redirect us to our location straightforward. And I can also come back to the team. When I click on it, the team also will be redirected to the team, as I said. And also we can also redirect ourselves to our services. Okay, so you can see the navigation also is working, and there's our water pulling effects. Wow, it is also working perfectly and it is looking awesome. Not only that, our website is also fully responsive. Okay, when I talk about responsiveness, okay, I mean it can adjust to all screen size without breaking the design. Okay, so you can see this is a tablet screen size, and when you scroll down, you can see that it has been adjusted to the screen size without breaking the design. everything is working, fully functioning perfectly. Okay, when you also slide it to, let's say, mobile phone screen size, you can see that it has been perfectly aligned to the mobile phone screen size without breaking a design. That is the fully responsiveness that I'm talking about. All right, so guys, we are going to combine all the knowledge that we have accumulated throughout these lessons in HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and JS, and also some jQuery implementations, and we are going to build this fully functional, responsive, modern website all by ourselves, right from scratch to the end. All right, so if you're ready, as I am ready, let us meet on the next section. Let us start building this together. Thank you. Hello friends, welcome back to this episode. We are looking at how to set our folder structure straight and also thinking about what test editor to use and how to set our test editor for the betterment of our project. Okay, now in terms of test editor, what I recommend is VS Code. All right, now you can use any test editor of your choice, but for this lesson, I'll urge you to use VS Code. Why? My reasons are clear. VS Code comes with some plugins that you can install for free, and it will make life easier for you in this journey. All right, now when you open your Visual Studio Code, you see something like this from the scratch. Okay, now you have to come here, come to this place and click on it. Okay, when you click on this one, then you come here, then you search for, we are going to install some plugins that will make life easier for us. The first plugin to install is Live Server. Okay, so search for Live Server and it's here. Okay, when you click on it, you see something like this. I have already installed, so you have to click on install in order for you to get an access to install. All right, what this plugin does is that it gives you an opportunity to be able to preview your project to the browser. Okay, now when you come here in a project like this, okay, all what I have to do, if I want to open a browser, I have to just come here and right click. I'll come to open with a live server. Okay, I have this option because of the live server that I've already installed. And when I click on this one, it would open the project for me in my browser. Okay, as expected. All right, and again, this is the project that we are going to be building. Okay, you can see it have a nice water moving effect. Now, the help of the live server, you can be able to preview your project right from your code in your browser. A very nice project. It's looking awesome. Now, the next extension to use is called Prettier. Okay, so you come here, then you type Prettier. All right, so with this extension, it formats your code for you. Okay, so with the help of Prettier, it formats your code. What do I mean by that? You can see sometimes when we are coding, in the process of time, our code become messed up. Okay, we can't even fathom where the li is following or which line is following which. Okay, so with the help of Prettier, it will align all your code perfectly so that your code become readable. After you do your typing and hit on Command S or Control S to save, Prettier will step in and do the arrangement for you. Okay, without you doing it yourself, and it is awesome. Okay, it will help you a lot. So install that one. I've already installed. You can see, click on the installed and install it. Okay, all right, so now moving forward, the next extension to install is called the ES6. Okay, you can type the ES6 and click on it. You can have it something like this. Okay, so this is a JavaScript, new syntax, new implementations in JavaScript. So with the help of ES6 syntax, it will help you not to do some repetition of some code. Okay, okay, so with the help of the ES6, when we are dealing with the new features, we don't have to think of how to do it. With a few things, we are good to go. Okay, all right, so I would recommend that you also install the ES6 snippets also. Okay, now after you are done installing these extensions and the plugins, what we have to do next is that we have to move to the next step of creating our folder structures. All right, so let's dive into that one too. All right, now I'll create my folder on my desktop and I would like to name it responsive websites. Now inside the folder, I would like to create 3 folders such as CSS, my image folder, and my JS folder. Okay, I would like to work with these 3 folders for now. All right, now the next thing that I need is my index.html file. Okay, and how do I do that? Let's go ahead and create that one inside our test editor. So I will open my test editor. Okay, so right from here, okay, so we can come here and come to file, then we come to open, or you can do Command O or Control O on Windows. Okay, so I'll do Command O on Mac, and I'll come to my desktop and select my responsive websites, and I'll open it like this. And there we go. I have my 3 folders be aligned here. Now, what I can do from here is that I have to create a new file. Okay, and to create a new file, I just have to come here. Now, if you want to create a folder inside your VS Code, you can come here, you can see a folder here, and you can create a folder. But if you want to create a file, you can see here, new file. Now I'll create a new file. I'll name it index.html. It's an HTML file, so that's how I would like to name it. Then I'll hit enter, and I have my index.html file created inside my folder structure. Now, when I come to desktop and looking at my folder structure, I have it here. I have my index.html here. I didn't create it here, but I have it there. Why? Because I have all my folders inside my VS Code already. All right, now let's go ahead and create additional two files for our CSS and our JS. All right, so now to do that, I'll come here. Okay, I'll click on this. When I turn the arrow down like this, it means I am in the folder, CS folder. Then I come to the file, I click on the file. I'm inside the file. Then how do I want to call my CSS? I'll call it star.css. Remember, the file extension is very, very important. It's .css, okay? Then I'll hit enter. Then I'll do the same thing to my JS. I'll click on that. Then I'll come to the file. Then I hit, how do I want to name it? I would like to name it main.js. The file extension for JavaScript is JS, okay? Then I'll hit enter. Now I've created my three files, okay? One is my HTML, another is my CSS, and my JavaScript. All right, so now before I will end this episode, I would like you to come to this extension here, click on this one, and come to this place and type materialized icon, or you just type icon. The first one, click on it, it's a materialized icon, okay, and install this one. It's not compulsory though, but if you want to install it, this will be the benefit, okay? When I click on the file that we just created, we can see that it has changed the icons of the files to the main icon. Okay, with this one, you can easily identify it. Please, it's not compulsory, but if you like, you can use it. For me, I prefer it this way. You can see it has changed my files and my folders icons here. Okay, the folder icons and the file icons, they are all have changed, and they are looking awesome. You know, even without looking at the words itself, the icon itself can tell you the particular folder that or a file that you are working with. And another extension that I would like you to install again for the last is the Emmet. Okay, so it is called the Emmet. It's part of the Emmet abbreviation. Okay, so the first one, click on it and install this one. Okay, when you install this one, this is what it does. Okay, after installing this, the Emmet, it will give you the opportunity that Sublime Text was giving us, if you can recall from our previous lesson, from the beginning of our lessons. Okay, so when I click my index.html, all right, now let's look at the usefulness of the Emmet abbreviation. Okay, so now inside my HTML file, I can just bring the exclamation sign and click enter. When I hit enter, you know, it has given me all the method and the title that I want. Okay, it has given me all that at a go. Okay, and this is the awesomeness of that. All right, then again, let's look at some of the benefits of the Emmet abbreviation. Now I can do UL greater than LI greater than then anchor tag. When I hit enter, you can see that it has created this one for me. Okay, so this is the awesomeness of the Emmet abbreviation. All right, now I will urge you to set your folder structure straight, open your VS Code, and install your plugins and your snippets extensions. And let's meet on the next one and learn more. Can anybody out there hear me? Hello friends, welcome to this awesome and beautiful lesson. In this episode, we are going to do all the necessary linking. That means we are going to link our CSS, our JavaScript, our Bootstrap, and also our jQuery implementations. So without much ado, let's dive in. Now to begin with, let's clear everything here. And remember we are in index.html. So we will begin with our doc type. This is the embed abbreviation result that I'm getting. I can go ahead and type them individually, or better still, we can also take the advantage of the Emmet abbreviation. When I do exclamation sign and hit enter, I have all the things that I need. Now this meta, you can leave it or you can take it off. Okay, so in order not to confuse you, let me take this one off, and I'll need a title. Okay, so with the title, what's going to be the title of our project? So I would like to call it responsive website. And now let's go ahead and link our CSS. Okay, all right, so we are done linking our CSS. Let's go ahead and link our JavaScript. All right, so we are done linking our CSS and our JavaScript. Now, remember, with the JavaScript, we start with the script tab, okay? And this is the folder that we are in, the JS folder, reference it with the name, and cool. I hope you are familiar with this one, so let's move on. Now, on the next thing, what we are going to do is that we are going to link our Bootstrap. So on the previous lesson that we had, we downloaded the Bootstrap folder and we used the folder inside our project. But in this episode, I want us to do something different. We are not going to download it, but we are going to see how the CDN also works. We are going to use the Bootstrap links in our project so that everything will be online. All right, now, so you open your browser and type the W3 schools. All right, open it, open the first link, and you'll be directed to the official website. Okay, inside the landing page, come to tutorials, click on that and search for Bootstrap. Learn Bootstrap is here. Click on that one, open it. So inside here, we are still going to go by the Bootstrap version 3. I've explained the reason on our previous lesson. So from here, we would come to get started. Bootstrap get started. Scroll down. Remember, we are not downloading it. Okay, we are not downloading Bootstrap, but we are going to use the CDN. Okay, so this is what we want. Okay, Mac CDN. You copy this one. Copy this. Grab the code. All right, so you copy the code. Then we come to your text editor and we are pasting them right here. Okay, paste them right here. And again, by doing this, we have linked our Bootstrap. Okay, by doing this, just by doing this, we have linked our Bootstrap. Now, how will you know that our links are actually in place? Okay, all right, so now we save it and let's preview it on our browser. You come to open with live server. Okay, so as at now, we have not put anything. That's why we are having nothing here. This is what we can see, responsive websites, and that is what we use as our title. Okay, now let's come to view page source. And from here, we can see that our link, our CSS has been linked. The Bootstrap dependencies also are here and our JS. Forget about this source code, okay? It is because we install the live server issues. Don't worry about this one. All what we need here is our links are intact, okay? All right, so now the next thing to do is that I want us to change this icon, okay? We want an icon like this, okay? We want an icon for our site. Before you do that, on my project folder inside my image, I've added an image which I'm going to use as an icon. So you can equally do that, okay? And it's icon, let me rename it. Okay, so now I have it like this, icon.png. All right, so I have named it favorite fav icon, okay? Now I'll come and link it here. Okay, so I'll need a link. Okay, here I'll need an href and my image folder, the name of the icon. And the file extension is the PNG. Okay, now save it and let's open our live server. And there we, sorry. All right, sorry, here's supposed to be a ref, okay, reference. Now let's say, all right, now we are in, okay, so we have linked our icon. There's the icon name. Now let's check it and we have it here, okay. All right, I think we have covered enough for this. Let's come back on the next one and continue. Hello guys, welcome back to this beautiful and wonderful lesson. In this episode, we are looking at how to create our navigations and also our responsive button. Now, we already have what we are going to be building, okay? So we don't need a wireframe or a sketch, okay? Because we already have in mind what you are building, and we are going to create this beautiful navigations menus here, okay? Starting with our navbar, and also we will see how to create our responsive button. And let's dive in. Okay, so to begin with, I would like you to come to the Bootstrap documentations and you can read more about what you are going to do, especially with the navbar. Okay, so if you can recall from our previous lesson that we handle our Bootstrap, we came to the documentation and we grabbed the code and we use the code. But in this lesson, we are entering into more professional way of building things by our own. So we are not going to grab the code. We are going to code everything from scratch all by ourselves. And the interesting thing that I want us to take note of is that if you become confused of anything, you can still come to the Bootstrap documentations and you can go through all what you are going to be doing here and you can take advantage of that. And Bootstrap come by the Bootstrap have a predefined classes, and that is what you are going to be using. For instance, to build an navbar with a background, we can go by the background default, or we can go by the background invest, or we can even specify the color as you are seeing here. But this one, specify the dark color, and we are getting this or all that. Okay, so I'm not going to take much time on this documentation. You can come back and do diligence to yourself because we have already handled the Bootstrap lessons. So that's much I do. Let's also dive into our text editor and let's start coding. Now, to begin with, I would like us to start with a comment, okay? And before I start, please make sure you adapt every single thing that I'll do here. Do same, okay? I would like you to do everything that I'm doing here. We are building the same project together. After you gain the skills, do the skills to build any project of yourself or for any company. But in order for us to follow the same lesson, please do exactly what I'm doing and learn everything that I am doing here, okay? For instance, in placing your comments, coding the indentations and all that, make sure you follow everything step by step. Now, I will start with a comment, okay? And with a comment, Now to begin with, let me start with a nav. A nav is just a tag, okay? It's just an HTML5 tag that has been predefined. Now I'll call a Bootstrap class called navbar, and now it's here. I'll do navbar invest. Now what I'm doing is that I'm calling a Bootstrap class. Okay, there's a default Bootstrap class that gives our navbar a background of black. Okay, there are two predefined classes for our navbar background, and the one is default and the other one is invest. And I'll go by the invest because it will give me kind of a black background. Now, before anything, let me save it and let's see how it turns in our browser. And you can see from here that we are having some background here. Okay, that is black background here. Okay, that is what we expected. Now, what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to put a logo here and I'll put my menu also here. Okay. Now let's go ahead and create that. And to begin with, I would like to use a container. Okay, and again, we are back to containers. Okay, so div class container. And remember, in container we have container fluid and we have our default container, and I'm using default container. So I'll call my class, and here I would need a navbar, my navbar header. Okay, yeah, so this is where I'm going to put my logo using the anchor link. And the reason why I'm using the anchor link is that I want my logo to be clickable. Okay, so that when you click on it, it can also redirect you to the home page as well. All right, so now let's go ahead and insert our logo. And to begin with, make sure that you have your logo. Okay, inside my image I have my logo here. Okay, and this is the name, brand logo, and the file extension also. So now I'll come to text editor and I will do my anchor tag with a rich href. Then I'll call a bootstrap class or navbar brand. Okay, and I'm going to put my image here. Okay, so I'll start with my img tag with a source and my image, then my image. All right, so now let's check it in the browser and see what we have into our browser. Okay, now we have our logo here, which supposed not to be here, supposed to be here. Let's check what is wrong. And the fault is coming from here. Okay, this navbar, we didn't bring it here. We're supposed to like open it from the beginning and place it somewhere here. Okay, it's supposed to cover the entire thing. Now when you save and come to the browser, you can see that we have it here as expected. Okay, now the navbar brand, if you come to the documentation, it's here. You can have it, you can see it here. Okay, the navbar brand, that's the portion that you put your logo and your logo name. Okay, and again, what we are going to do next is we are going to put our menu. Okay, we are going to create a portion for our menu also here. All right, now let's go ahead and create our navigation menu, and I will start with I will use the list. Okay, that is the UL and the LI. I would like to use the anchor tag. Okay, remember it's a link. We are creating it as a link, so the href. Now I'll call my home page. So this is the home. Okay, and we need it how many times? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. We need it 8 times, so let's duplicate the code. All right, now let's save it and check it in our browser, and we have it here. Okay, we are going to use a bootstrap class to align it perfectly. We say nav. All right, now we are going to use this bootstrap class to align it. Okay, and you can see we have it here. Okay, it is not well arranged, but we have it here. All right, now what is next is that you have to push it to the right, and also we can use a bootstrap class to do that. Here I will do navbar. I will say navbar right. Okay, and you can see that it has been pushed to the right side as expected. All right, anyway, there is something wrong with our code. Okay, I don't know if you take your time to observe it. So that is why the arrangement is not what we're expecting. You can see that it's supposed to be here. Okay, the closing tags of our link. Okay, something like this. Now let's go ahead and do that. Okay, if you repeated this mistake, please correct it. All right, if you are through with the correction, now let's head towards the browser and check. All right, awesome. So this is what we're expecting. All right, now the next thing to do is that if I minimize the browser, you can see that all the navigation has been slid down. We don't want it like that. It is not really ideal. Okay, but we want something like a responsive button that when we click on it, it will rather bring the menu down like this. Okay, and we are going to do that using some of the predefined class in Bootstrap called navbar tagging. So let's head into the browser, our code, and let's do that. Now I'll begin with a comment. Okay, and I'll call it responsive button. Now I'll create my button, and with a type, I'll call it button, and I'm going to call some bootstrap class. I'm going to call some bootstrap class called the navbar tagging. Okay, and again, navbar tagging, if you come to the bootstrap documentation, is here. Okay, you can learn more about it. So it's used to collab the plugins, and okay, so it works with jQuery, and so I will need some jQuery implementation too for it to work. So I would say data tagging. Now this is a jQuery attribute. Okay, so now let me create some empty data, and later I'll fill it when we create it. Okay, Okay, so I would leave the data like that. Okay, the target, I'll leave it, and later we'll come and work on that. All right, so as at now, if we save our work and check our browser, when I minimize it, we don't have much. Okay, we have this little button here. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw the lines and expand it into 3. Okay, so to do that, I'll come inside my button, then I'll use the span tag. All right, so now I will need additional 2 of this, making 3. Okay, and you understand it. Okay, now let's save it and head towards our browser. And when I minimize it like this, we can see we have a 3 lines here. That is what the span do. Okay, but then when we click on it, it's not clickable. Okay, so let's go ahead and implement that one too. Now for it to work, I have to wrap this with the jQuery attributes. Okay, we have to do some jQuery implementation. Remember, we inserted our jQuery here. Okay, we have our jQuery here. Okay, so that is why we have an access to jQuery. And to do that, I'll come to my UL and I'll create a container. All right, so with this jQuery implementation, I have set the ID, okay, and I give the ID of Navy. You can call it anyhow you want it, but I have called it Navy. Okay, and the next thing I have to do is I have to take the closing tag here and bring it here. Okay, yes, having the closing tag here. I hope you understand, so that we have wrapped all with it. Okay, and with the Navy that I created, this ID, this time we are going to use it here. Okay, remember I said we created an empty data, okay, target. And remember, this is an ID, so we have to use a hashtag. Okay, with a hashtag, then I'll do Navy, something like this. It's an ID, so we have to use the hashtag. Supposedly it was at a class. I created a class, then we can use the dots. Okay, so it works the same. All right, so now before anything else, let's save our project and let's check it in a browser. And also you can see that all our menu has been shifted inside. Okay, so when I click on it, it's supposed to get a result and we are not getting. Okay, it means that there's an error in our code, and when I check, it's coming from here. It's data, not date. Okay, please always be mindful of the spellings, because if you didn't get it well, your code will not run. You'll get some problems with your code. Okay, you get some errors. So now let's save it and check it in a browser. Now when we click on it, awesome, we are getting it as expected. Okay, awesome. All right, friends. So as it stands now, we are able to create our navigation menu, and we created our logo, and also our responsive button also is working perfectly. All right, so we'll end here. Let's come back on the next one and let go. Hello and welcome back to this awesome and beautiful lesson. In this episode, we are going to do some CSS implementation. Okay, and we are going to rectify some things. Okay, we are going to change this background, and also there's a radius here. We are going to do away with all that, and let's dive in. Okay, now to begin with, I would like us to put some things in order in our code. Okay, that have to do with the comments and indentation. It's very, very important. Please take note of that, the indentations and comments. All right, for the indentation, I'm using Prettier, like the extension that I told you to install. That one arranged all my code for me perfectly, so I have to worry about the comments. And I would like to put, where did we start with our navigation? Our navigation starts here, so I would like to end it here. And also our navigation menu started from here, and I have to end it. I have to end it here. Okay, something like this. All right, now I'll tell you to adapt this behavior, please. It will help you one day, okay, in the future. Now we are going to work on our navbar, and to see which class that you have to work with, you can come here. Okay, you hover over your navbar, then you come to inspect, and inside the inspect, you can click on this icon here. Click on that one, then you hover over the navbar again, and you can see that this is the class that we wanted. Okay, this navbar class. Okay, this navbar. Now that we have identified the navbar to work with, we can come to our browser, and now we are going to implement some CSS. So we come to our CSS, and to begin with, so I would like to start with a rule to remove all paddings and margins. Okay, and to do that, I'll do something like this. I'll do a margin of 0 padding. All right, so I might say that you'll be introduced to some new concepts in CSS. Okay, so just stay cool and learn more. All right, now I need my navbar. What is the class? Okay, so this is the class. Okay, my navbar. So I'll come to my CSS, and it's a class. Okay, so I have to reference the class as dots, and I would like to go with a padding. and I would like to use the TLB, which is the top, the right, and the bottom. Okay, so now before we save and refresh, let me comment it out and show you something. Now by default, this is what we have. Okay, we are having our navbar like this. Okay, so what I'm doing is that I want to stretch it a bit. Okay, I want to stretch the navbar a bit. Okay, so when I uncomment it and save it and we check it in the browser, we can see that it has been stretched as expected. All right, so as we can see, our margin has been increased nicely as expected. But then we can see that there's some radius. Okay, there are some radius here which we don't want. So let's go ahead and remove that one too. And with that one, I'll just come to the HTML and implement some rules. There are some class in Bootstrap that I can take advantage of. Okay, here, so I'll call the class. It is called navbar. All right, so it is called navbar fix stop. And upon doing this, it will remove all radius and it will fix the background at the top as expected. So when we come here, we can see that we don't have it here. Okay, and it has been perfectly aligned. Now let's go ahead and give it a background color. Okay, so we'll do a background color. And I'll give it this color. And when I save, let's save it and let me show you something. When you save and come back here, we can see that it has not taken effect. Okay, nothing changes. It is because the default background that we give to the Bootstrap, that one rather is persistent. So in order to eradicate all Bootstrap privileges, we use a code called impotent. So you put an exclamation mark, then you do impotent. Put it here, put it here. Okay, something like this. All right, now let's check it. And we can see that we're having a background color like this. Okay, now I might say that maybe we might not use this background because on the project our background is somehow transparent. Okay, we're getting a transparent background, but we can also choose to come with a transparent. Let me show you something. Now when we fix the transparent like this, let's see what we get. Okay, we have something like this. Okay, from the beginning it will not look nice, so let's go by this color that I came with. Okay, so now we have like we have this. Now, if you have a good eye, you can see that there is a black line here. So let's take that one. There's a black line here. And we can do that by saying border, bottom, and we do it none. Okay. Now, when you save, it will not go. Okay. When you save and refresh, we still have it. And what do we have to do? We have to put in the impotent. Okay. And upon doing that, when you refresh, now it's gone. Okay, you can see it. All right, now I would like us to work on the menu here. Okay, I'd like us to change the color and also style it a bit. Okay, and to do that, I have to come to my VS Code, and here I have to reference the navbar, and also I come to the child elements here, and I also have to reference the UL before the anchor tag. Okay, I hope you get it. Now let's head to our CSS, and I will do navbar. It's a class. Okay, then I will do my UL li li2 is included. Okay, before the anchor tag. Okay, so something like this. Now let's begin with the color. I like us to change the color to white, and again, if we leave it like this, it will not work. Okay, so we have to put in our impotent for it to work. All right, now we save it and let's check it. You can see awesome, our color has changed beautifully. All right, even on a small screen size like a phone, we minimize it. Okay, you can see it has been nicely inserted here as expected. Now let's change the ratings here to capital letters. Okay, and we can do that with the help of CSS3. Okay, properties called text transform, and here we say uppercase. With the text transform, there are many. Okay, there are many here. Okay, but we are going for the uppercase. All right, now let's save it and check it in a browser. And there we go. Our letters has been changed to uppercase. And let me reduce the visibility. Okay, now I would like us to put some font weight. Okay, and also do some spacing. Okay, and to do that, come here and all right, now let's work on the hover effect. Okay, so to do that, I'll copy, then I'll add hover. Now with the color, I'll go for deep sky blue, and I'll also call for the impotent to eliminate all privileges. Now let's save it and let's check it in the browser. Let's check it. Okay, there we go. Awesome. By then we can see that when we hover over it, immediately you take the cursor off, the color changes. Okay, it's supposed to be spicy like this. Okay, it is slowly change. Okay, so we have to give it a transition effect. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I'll put it here. For the transition, I'll say all, and I'll give it a time, 0.5 seconds. Then I'll give it ease in. You can see we have ease in, ease out, we have fade in, fade out, and all. But let's go for the ease in, okay? And let's check it. Let's save it and check in the browser. And you can see, awesome. It's looking awesome. All right, so with this, I would like to take off the transition effect. It doesn't look like this, okay? It doesn't look like this. What I would like to do is I would like to take off. It is not to my satisfaction, so I'll take this one, and also I'll change the sorry. The letter spacing spacing supposed to be 1 pixels, and this one too. The font weight supposed to be 500, but let me make it bold, okay? Something like this. Now let me save it. Aha, I'm getting something like this. Wow, awesome. Just like this one. Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, so we'll go ahead and make that correction. Okay, and let's move on. All right, now let's work on this button, our responsive button here. Now, when we hover over it, we have to get the same response, okay, as this one. When we hover over it, you can see we want something similar to this one. All right, now to begin with, I have to right click and go to the inspector. Now, when I click on this and hit on here, this place. Now at the CSS side, you can see the class name is what? Navbar tagging. So this is what you're going to work on. And remember, I told you from our beginning Bootstrap lesson that we don't have to edit the Bootstrap classes. So let's go ahead and write our own class to this one. Okay. So we are targeting the navbar tagging. All right. So I'll come here and form my navbar. All right. So we give it the border and we give it 1 pixels solid, and we give it a color of white, and we will say impotent. Okay. All right, now let's save it and head towards the browser. Let's minimize and let's check it. All right, now if you check it well, there's a white background here. Okay, there's a white border here. All right, now we want the transition effects and also make it nicer like this. Okay, something like this. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, now I'll grab this, I'll copy this one, and I'll come here, then I'll add the hover, then I'll give it a background color and deep sky blue, then I'll give the impotent to remove all privileges. And when I save it, and you can see, okay, it left with the transition effect. Okay, so I'll just grab this code. It's the same thing that I want, and I'll paste it here. All right, now let's check it in the browser, and there we go. Okay, just as expecting. Now let me put some comments. Okay, I nearly forgot. So comments will help you a lot, and I'll comment it like this. Okay, and I'll style it something like this. Okay, and I have it ends here. Okay, so menu starts and menu ends. Right now, I want to show you something. When you come to inspector and locate this place, okay, let me do it again. Let me show you. Okay, when you click here and click on this cursor, okay, when you click here, click on this line. There's a line here. There's a border here. Okay, now when you come here, you can see in the navbar inverse and the navbar collapse, there's a background color here. Okay, so let me show you here, the line here. So when I come here and click on this one, you can see that it has been fainted or it has been disappeared. So I want us to remove that one. Okay, I want us to remove it, or I want us to make it faint like this. Okay, so to do that, I have to grab this code. I have to grab the heading here. Okay, and send it into our Sublime test. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so navbar. All right, now let's give it a background color and let's make it a transparent. Okay, now we save it and to our browser. Let's close this one, and All right, then let me add, the scene is still there, so let me add the impotent. Oh, sorry, it's border color, not background. Okay, border color. Now let's give it a transparent. Now let's check it out. Okay, so we have something like this. When you compare it to the original, I think we are good to go. Okay. All right, guys, I think we have covered enough for this lesson. Let's come back on the next one and put in some more effort and build this one. Okay. We put border to this one, like this. We put it here also and add more functionalities. Okay, we'll end here. Let's meet on the next one and learn more. Hello friends, welcome to this beautiful and awesome lesson. In this episode, we are taking our time to build this, our background here, which is our slider, and also we work on styling this, our location. Alright, on our previous lesson, we were able to build this one, and also we were able to work on the responsive button here also as well. So in this episode, we are taking our time to work on the slider and styling our location. Without much ado, let's dive in. Now, I would like us to work on the location, which is this one, okay? And we need to create a custom class that we can use to style this particular location because they all fall into this nav class, okay? So we have to create a custom class for this location. So let's do that. Now, we create a class. We create a class and name it location. We are going to use this name location to style it, all right? Now, let's head towards our CSS. Now, inside our CSS, I would like to start with a comment, okay? Very, very important. So I'll copy this. I'll paste it here. All right, now that I'm done with my comments, when you do it like this, okay, it helps your code to look nicer and also it helps in the readability of the code become more easier. Let's call the class that we created, okay? That is the location. So it's a class, so we'll do location. Now let's give it a border of 1 pixel. Then we make it solid. Then we make the color white. Let's give it a border radius of 50 pixels. All right, save it. Yeah, there you go. It's looking awesome. All right. Now the next thing to do is that we have to work on the slider here and everything that is in it. Okay, we have to work on the icons here, the hotter reveal effect also here. So we have a lot of work to do. You can see. Now with the icons, I'll use the font awesome. Okay. All right. Now so let's start with this icon. Okay. So come here, then type font awesome. Type font awesome CDN. Hit enter. All right, search for W3 schools is here, okay? Font awesome, W3 schools, click on that. All right, now we are going to use this one, okay? We are going to use this link. We are not going to download anything, but we are going to call it directly from the internet. So you use this link, we copy it, head towards your code inside of HTML. Okay, let's put it here. Hit enter, then Control V or Command V, okay? Awesome. All right, so I would like to pass some comments for the font awesome, okay? And again for the readability of the code. Now I'll come here, I'll paste it, then I change this one. All right, font awesome CDN file. All right, let me end it, okay? I'll copy it. All right, now let's create a section for our slider and I will start from here, okay? I'll start from the ending where the navigation ends, okay? All right. Okay, I'll call it slider section start and I'll copy it again and I'll end it here, okay? So what I will do from here is that I'm going to create a class that has not been defined yet. Okay, so I will start with a section tag, then I'll create my class and I'll name the class slider. And I will put a default predefined class in Bootstrap called test center. Sorry, it's supposed to be inside like this, test center. So that with the test center, you know it, we've already explained, it will align everything there to the center. Okay, then I'll give it a unique ID called slider. Okay, something like this. I will end it here. So inside, now inside here, I would like to create a div with a class and I'll call it slider I'll call it slider overlay. So with this one, I'll use it to set some opacity. Now inside, I'll create another class called slider content. And again, all these classes that I've created, it is not defined, okay? We will later go to the CSS and define it, all right? Now inside here, that is where we are putting our icons. So I'll give it a class and I'll call it icons. And that is where we are going to put in our icons that we will call from the internet. So this is where we're going to put our icons through the using of the CDN that we just linked with the font awesome. All right, so now we need these three icons, okay? The Apple and the Android and Windows. So we start with the Apple, okay? And this is how we call it from font awesome class, okay? So I'll give it I as an index, then I'll do FA, then I'll do Apple. All right. Now this is how we do it, okay? So all right, so in order to get the Apple icon, you do what? FA. The FA stands for font awesome, then font awesome Apple. If you want to know more about font awesome, please just Google it, okay? There's a whole official website for that they will give you all the classes and you can learn more about that. Let's move on. Now we would need additional two for Android and Windows, okay? All right, so you can see we have Android and we have our Windows. Now we come back to the icons. Let's create this section also, the animation test. Okay, now I'll create a class and I'll give it a test. All right, so this is what I'll use to start the test, okay, in our CSS. All right, so now between the icons and the call to action, let me break it, okay? Let me give it a line break. I'm sure you're familiar with the line break. Now let's leave the test animation. I'll use the JavaScript to work on that later. And let's create this button also, okay? This button, okay, it's clickable. So now I will create a class and I will use CTA. Anyway, CTA stands for call to action, okay? I'll create CTA button, okay, like this. All right, so inside here is where I'll put the button name, and remember it's clickable, so we have to use the anchor tag, okay? Then I'll call an undefined class, okay? Then I will name the class btn1, okay, like this. And it's 2, so I'll need additional one. So let me duplicate the code and change this one to btn2, okay, which means button 2. Now what are the names? We have what? We have contact us, and the second one is what? Learn today. All right, now when we save our project and head towards our browser, we don't see anything, so we have to insert our background image in order for it to become visible. But if you still want to see whether it has been well aligned, you can come to the source, okay, and you can view the source from here. Okay, so the font awesome is here, Apple, Android and Windows, and also everything that we inserted is here, so meaning we are on the server side. Now before we work on the images and the styling, let's go ahead and create this button, okay, this social button here, so that we can do all at a go. Now I'll come here, and before I do that, I would like to put a line break here. I think 2 will do. Okay, all right, here I'll create a class. I'll create a class and call it social networks, and inside that is where I'm going to put my icons, okay? And remember, it's a clickable, so you have to make it an anchor link with an href, and I'll give it an undefined class, which I will define later. Okay, so I have to call the social links from the font awesome, so I'll do font awesome Facebook. Okay, so starting with Facebook, and I think we need this one how many times? 6 times. Okay, so I will duplicate this 6 times and I will change the name. Alright, so now that we have changed the name, let's save it and head towards our browser and check it. And there we go. You can see that this one is having different font color. That is why it is visible. Now what we have to do next is, I think we have covered enough, so we have to end it and come back on the next one. But before we go, let's commit the changes. Okay, so we hit on this one. You can see that we have 2 changes that we have not committed. We have modified the HTML and the CSS, but it has not been committed. So let's commit and push. So what we do here is, let's give it a message. So I'll say create slider mockup with HTML. Okay, now save it. Okay, so now I can push it. Okay, I can push it. I can call my terminal window. Let me clear this one first. So we do clear, then I will do git push -u origin main. Okay, and I hit enter. Alright, okay, so our working tree is clear now. It has been pushed successfully. Alright, so that will be that for now. Let's come back on the next episode and see how we can style our slider. Alright, thank you.